But yeah, anyways, today we are doing a tier list of everything because everybody's gonna have different opinions. Except for me, I'm absolutely unbiased. Wink, wink. No, obviously, as you guys can see, just look at the weapons I'm holding. These are my favorite guns in the entire game. These are my favorite spells: Shockwave, Cornucopia, my favorite spells. But let's start from left to right, everything in order, right? Midas. I know I haven't leveled them up, but I have I have it right here, the Mysterium upgrades. Okay, so Midas, let me equip it. And I might as well equip Ricochet, since they're right there. I'll equip Vulture too. And I'll equip Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt, and in here. There's three. Agree that. So we have the first of everything. Let's start with Midas. Okay, so Midas at 0 Mysterium, right? It does nothing. It does nothing. Right now we are at 0 Mysterium. So it used to be pre-GDU, you didn't have this cold. It wouldn't overheat. And it wouldn't get cold either. You just would have no temperature indicator. That didn't exist. That came with the Ghost Galleon update. So at Mysterium 0, Midas used to be better pre-update. Now the Mysterium 0 Midas is well, let's take a look at Ricochet. Yeah, Mysterium 0 Ricochet doesn't overheat. So I'd say Mysterium 0, these two guns at Mysterium 0, well, Ricochet is better, but barely. Barely. you will soon see why Midas is better than Ricochet in every regard. Okay, so Ricochet, Mysterium 1, is continuous fire heats up the weapon. Bullets deal more damage when heated, and less damage when overheated. So you see, it goes cold and overheat. But when you level this weapon up, there's gonna be a temperature in between these two temperatures that is called heated. And it is neither cold nor overheated. Right, so heats up, bullets deal more damage. Then at Mysterium 2, overheat applies burn to enemies. So when you overheat like this, your bullets now apply burn. But they deal less damage than the heated bullets. And then at Mysterium 3, very fast reload when the gun is overheated. So then when you overheat, when you level this weapon up to its max level, when you overheat it like this, your reload is super fast. And we're gonna compare it now to Ricochet. You're gonna see why Midas is better. Let me open up my Ricochet. Sorry, my weapons are all maxed out. I did max them out once upon a time. Then I deleted that profile. And I started a new one. It was all one unfortunate accident. Okay, so Ricochet at Mysterium 0, which is what we have it at. What I have it at. Nothing. It's just a machine gun. With... This thing only fires slightly faster than Hunger when Hunger has the increased fire rate Arcana. So this is slowish for a machine gun. Okay, so Mysterium 0, right? We agree that it's just a regular ass machine gun. At Mysterium 1, up to 3 enemies can be tagged, while aiming down sights. Shooting one ricochets the bullets to the others. The link breaks on reload. What that doesn't explain is that when you tag enemies, let's go to the little slave. Let's go to our little punching bag. Where's our little punching bag? Right, so I haven't leveled this up, but when you aim down sights, a red skull appears above enemies, and you can tag up to 3. What the Mysterium 1 doesn't explain is that once you've tagged 3 enemies and you kill one of them, you're gonna ask yourself, but I aimed at other enemies, why aren't they tagged? It's because you not only does reloading the link breaks on reload. That's what the Mysterium says. The link breaks on reload. What it's not saying is that if you want to tag more enemies, you also have to reload and reinitiate the tagging process. Which is annoying. Then Mysterium 2 Ricochet. Fast reload after tagging 3 enemies. Ricocheted bullets have 100% stun potential of the main shot. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, the fire rate doesn't increase either. Ricochet keeps and that's what it does, 16? 19 on crit. 19 on crit. 16 on... Right, and this is the most possible damage because I'm at nearly point blank range. And then Mysterium 3 Ricochet says, a powerful lightning each time an enemy is hit with 10 ricochet bullets. So you gotta hit him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times so that he can get hit with lightning. Let me read that again. A powerful lightning each time an enemy is hit with ricochet. Hopefully because the game has been patched and somebody patched that typo. There's a typo there. Like a powerful lightning each time. It just said like a powerful lightning strikes each time. It's missing that word. Anyways, guys, the reason why I'm being so nonchalant about this tier list is because I'm not gonna edit. I refuse to edit videos. And I'm not gonna level up these weapons either. Like, I'm so lazy, so I'm just gonna verbally iterate things to you, and you're just gonna have to put up with it. I'm sorry. So you gotta hit him 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then they'll get struck by lightning. Listen, guys. I don't like Ricochet. I've only heard of one player who likes Ricochet. I've heard that he also likes Burning Stake. We'll get to that. Anyway. Vulture. This used to be the only heavy weapon. Demonic weapon. This used to be the only demonic weapon before the update. You see how I'm moving slow down sights? This used to be the fastest weapon down sights, even faster than Cricket. So this thing, you shoot it, and it'll home in on other 5 enemies. If they're small enemies, they'll die in 1 hit, so you can kill up to 5 enemies per shot with this weapon. But if you happen to hit a chunkier enemy, like a Grenadier, your streak is over, and you're not gonna kill 5 enemies. You'll kill like 1 or 2. Then when it hits the Grenadier or the Machine Gunner, it's over. Whereas if you use Falling Star, I forget the name. If there's 10 enemies all bunched up together, you can damage all 10 enemies with the explosion. Falling Star is better, and Falling Star deals even more damage to single enemies. So Vulture, Lightning Bolt. Here we go, Lightning Bolt. So Lightning Bolt. Let me says here lightning bolt. A lightning bolt that knocks back and shocks enemies. It doesn't explain here that when you shock an enemy. Okay, he kind of did nothing right there. Let me activate the tutorial. Or should always be activated in here. Don't make me activate it. Okay. Reset spell cooldown. Okay, so if you... Nothing's happening here, but when an enemy's surrounded by other enemies, and there's other enemies surrounding him, and an enemy is shocked, this blue effect on him, this lightning will spread to other enemies, and then you can deal damage to multiple enemies at a time. So that's Mysterium 0. Oh well, Mysterium 1, because all these spells start at Mysterium. All spells start at 1. So you only have to level them twice. So it says 3 enemies are affected, and it has a 14-meter range. At Mysterium 2, 4 enemies are affected. It has 16-meter range. It deals 20 damage. See, it says right here, next Mysterium, 16-meter. And then at third Mysterium, it'll be 18-meter range, and the damage is gonna be 40. And it says the initial bolt stuns any full health enemy. I like Thunderbolt a lot. It's my favorite spell after Shockwave. So for me, it's like my second favorite light spell. Let's go for Iron Cross now. Iron Cross. It basically anchors enemies close to this cross. Enemies can barely move. They also attack you less frequently. Let's see here. The spawns an Iron Cross with lightning bolts that binds all nearby enemies. Range, duration. 25 meters? Okay, at Mysterium 1 is 25 meters. At Mysterium 2, it's going to be 30 meters. And it'll last 5 more seconds. So 15 seconds. And at Mysterium 3, it's going to be 35 meters. Plus 10 more seconds. 15, 10 plus 15. It's going to be 25 seconds total. And then it has another effect that enemies that are too far away and aren't affected, if they suddenly come into range of the Iron Cross, they'll become affected by the Iron Cross. Meaning that when your Iron Cross is at less level 0, 1, or 2, any enemy that isn't initially affected is not going to be affected. Whereas when you take Iron Cross to its maximum level, any new enemies that weren't affected by Iron Cross, but that get close to it, will become affected and will also, right, become hindered by the cross. Here we have one that is, let's see if you can see the effect. It's not taking effect here, it should. Let me see something here. Yeah, that one-shots them. Okay. That was Eye of the Mad Woman. You see that thunder? Let's do it again. So that thunder that happens, that appears as though it happens randomly, it's not randomly. It's Eye of the Mad Woman. An eye inked with the infant blood. Ooh, that sounds suspicious. The relic strikes any near-death enemy with heavenly lightning. So this is Mysterium 3. It's at max level. But let's see what it is at Mysterium 1. Let's go to... Let's go to Mysterium 1. Eye of the Mad... Oh, well. It's also maxed out here. Okay, well, I think at Mysterium 1, the lightning damage is 30. Then it goes to like 50, then it goes to 70. So it increments in 20s. Health threshold, 10%. I think that's less as well when it's Mysterium 1. Major enemy threshold, 30%. Yeah, that's 20% when you're at level 2. Bonus effect stun. Yeah, you get that at Mysterium 3. This piece of shit. I mean, it's not entirely shit, it's just Hemsbane is so much better than all the other fetishes. Okay, so right now, okay, when low health, any damage taken makes the fetish release a powerful shockwave. Actually, this one doesn't suck. I was confusing it with the other fetish. This is Bittersweet Nightshade. So when you're low health, so you're already fucking yourself with this because you don't want to be low health in Witchfire. Because in Witchfire, if you're at quarter health or less than half health, you're 1 hit or 2 hits away from death. So low health threshold 20%. So that's less than quarter health. That is insane. That is insane. You have to be bleeding out, crawling on the floor for this thing to take effect. Any damage taken makes the fetish release a powerful shockwave. Jesus. Shockwave 40 meters. Damn, that's a lot. So at max level, this is base level, level 1. Again, as I said, spells do not begin at level 0 like weapons do. Spells begin at level 1. They're already leveled to 1. Whereas weapons are below level 1. They're weapon 0 when you start out. So Bittersweet Nightshade at max level, the health threshold is 40%. So slightly less than half health. That's much more agreeable. The shockwave range is 60 meters, insane. And the damage on the shockwave is 30 damage. And it has the bonus effect of stunning. This is pretty good. I would actually put this in like the top 3. In the top 3, maybe top 4. The number 4 of the of all the fetishes. Oh, this one's gonna be easy to explain. Let's see, oh, my bad. See that? That's Ring of Excreta, or Ring of Excreta, however you want to say it. Right, he gets decay. You don't originally get decay, you only get decay when you max it out. Dash leaves behind Dash leaves behind a bomb that damages and knocks back enemies. The explosion range, originally, it's probably like less. It's probably like 3 meters or something. Bomb damage is probably 30 at level 1, and dash distance probably you get 1 more meter. The bomb applies decay. You only get this at max level at level 3. And then these are the stats when you finally max it out. This is, to me, if we're being extremely objective and trying to be as unbiased as possible, Ring of Excreta is the best ring. And I'll tell you why. These are my stats. They're maxed out. And endurance. See where it says dash length. 6.50 meters. 6.50. So when you max out Ring of Excreta, you get 3 more. So then you're dashing, that means you're dashing 9.50 meters. So you get 3 more meters of distance per dash. So that is the ring that makes the most out of your stamina. and gives you the most distance. Like if there's a musketeer far away and you're having problems with the damage fall off, for those of you who don't know what the damage fall off is, we'll present it. I'll present it right here to you. Let's kill this guy. See how I'm doing 9 damage? See how I'm doing less damage the further I go away? 1 damage. This is damage fall off. The further away you are, the less damage you do. And as you get closer, you deal more damage. So because there is damage fall off, Ring of Excreta is the best ring. Followed by Shadow Mist ring, but because Ring of Excreta is the ring that will allow you to close distance the quickest. Let us continue. Hypnosis, All-Seeing Eye, Falling Star, Light, Rotten Fiend, Book of Serpents, Embane, Crown of Fire. Oh, disgraceful. Crown of Fire, what a shame. I will speak to you in a moment about Crown of Fire. What ring do I have again? Crown of Fire, oh god. Dude, I had a profile. I had a prayer that had everything maxed out. And then I made like 4 other profiles. And I deleted my penitent, which was the wrong penitent profile to be deleting, and then I lost the profile that had everything leveled up. Hypnosis. Oh, this thing. Who doesn't love this gun? I mean, this weapon is so loved. This weapon is so loved that if it is difficult. The reason why I'm stuttering and being silent all of a sudden is that there is an argument that All-Seeing Eye is better than Hypnosis, but because Hypnosis is the new weapon and it has the diamond thing in the middle, it'll charge blue once I level it up. I haven't leveled it up yet. Hypnosis became like a really fun gun to use, and everyone that loves rifles was simping over Hypnosis, and correctly so, understandably so. I'm gonna, because Hailstorm has such little ammo, and because All-Seeing Eye, everybody used All-Seeing Eye pre-Galleon Ghost update, and because Hypnosis is the new rifle, the new kid on the block, I would say that this is the new, maybe not best, but it's like the favorite rifle right now. It's all the rage. So Hypnosis, I have it at level 0. At level 1, it says aiming down sight slowly charges the bullet with bonus damage. What that means is that this little diamond here at the bottom, it'll start slowly glowing more and more blue, and then when it fully charges, you deal more damage. It'll deal more damage as soon as you aim down sights, just that the longer you hold it, the more damage it'll deal. At level 2, increased damage is way towards the end of the time window. Okay, so I made a mistake. The increased damage is at level 2. And then also at level 2, a shot perfectly timed at the end of the window inflicts even more damage. So it'll go like, start glowing, and then it'll glow like its brightest color. And when you shoot at the perfect moment, just when it goes max color, you deal the most amount of damage. And then at Mysterium 3, level 3, after the 3rd perfect shot in a row, Perfect shots deal lightning damage. And this is why I've heard people say that, oh, I don't like hunger because it's a weapon that you need to reload in order for its effect to take place. This is also a weapon that you don't want to be reloading. You don't want to lose that third Mysterium lightning bolt that this thing emits. But if you do reload, you'll lose it. Also, if you miss a perfect shot, you will lose it. Only if you miss. If you decide to not shoot, you still have your lightning bolt. But yeah, Hypnosis, probably the best rifle right now. Hailstorm is probably the best, but it doesn't have enough ammo. And here we go, All-Seeing Eye. All-Seeing Eye is just a regular ass rifle, doesn't do anything special when it's level 0, just like the rest of the weapons. But yeah, at level 1, increase damage against enemies with more than 75% of their health. At level 2, critical hits trigger a shockwave, damaging all enemies inside the shockwave circle. I'll simplify that and just say critical hits generates a shockwave that damages enemies. And then a third Mysterium, if critical hit deals increased damage, the shockwave applies decay. Why wouldn't that confused me a bit? Why wouldn't a critical hit deal increased damage? It's a critical hit. The body shots, center mass hits are the ones that don't deal increased damage. All critical hits deal increased damage. So I don't know exactly what it's trying to say there. There's probably someone else who understands this better than me. But basically, if you have any full health enemies, the way you use All-Seeing Eye, if there's full health enemies like this guy, you wanna headshot them. You wanna score crits because it'll apply decay. Decay, the green thing, the green toxic cloud. And this weapon is still bugged in that it can decay for miles and miles. If you're playing on the castle or any other level, if you apply decay with All-Seeing Eye, you can proc the warden. The warden will get affected by your by your decay. It has an insane range. Now, let's say you don't wanna using hypnosis, right? And you don't want to be doing the perfect shot thing. If that's the case, All-Seeing Eye is the rifle for you. You shoot this thing like this. That's a quick enough fire rate. I mean, slower than hunger, but let's count that. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's see this one. This one's ever so slightly lower. It's barely noticeable, but Hypnosis has a slightly slower fire rate. Falling Star. What the hell? Activated the feint on accident. Okay, so Falling Star. This thing, see how it does that? It homes in. See that? It homes in. You see that, how it curves? If you want it to home in even more, you get the, right? I'm locked into the enemy. Fire backwards and upwards. Then it travels longer. It has a longer travel distance. Says the longer the grenade travels, the higher the damage. And that's why you want to be targeting the enemies and then shooting backwards and upwards, because it makes the grenade travel more distance and deal more damage. Falling Star is the best heavy weapon. It is the best demonic weapon right now. Period. Full stop. Anybody using Vulture is on drugs, and they need an intervention, and they need to stop. And they need to start playing WASD and stop using the arrow keys. Okay, so Blight Cyst. This gross ass shit. That's a Blight Cyst. Then it explodes like that, and it Blight Cyst is great. Let's go ahead and look at the what level do I have this in? A cyst that attaches to the environment or enemies explodes after a while, but can be shot for more powerful explosions. The tier list will come at the end, guys. I'm just talking. I just have to give everything a chance right now. Blight Cyst. So at Mysterium 1, the it'll auto explode at a range of 8 meters. I don't know what that means. Do I have to get away from the enemy, and once I take 8-meter amount of steps back away from the enemy, it'll explode? I don't know what that means. Forced explosion range 12 meters. Ah, now I know what that means. It means that if you shoot the cyst, the smoke will travel 12 meters. The toxic fumes will travel 12 meters. If you just wait and let it explode on its own, only 8 meters. So know that at maximum level, at level 3, the auto explosion range is 12 meters, the forced explosion is 16 meters, and an added effect is the cyst grows larger, chance to regrow if attached to an enemy. So if you attach the cyst to an enemy like this, there's a 50% chance that after it explodes, the enemy will grow another cyst. See that it auto exploded there, and the smoke the fumes had a shorter range. So that cyst, one of the best light spells in the game. Let's go for the this guy. Okay, so he maybe he's not doing anything now because we're in the Hermitorium. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. He's gonna attack the enemy. And we will search this. Oh, this is fun to look at. I'll just let you guys look at this. Oh, nice. So anyway, before he continues his onslaught, Grenadier resurrects a Grenadier. I don't know about resurrects. He just summons one. It just ushers one into existence. Rodent Fiend. Okay, so Grenadier, who now attacks his former allies with incredible ferocity. I don't know about incredible ferocity. He attacks them with mild annoyance, I would say. So at level 1, the Grenadier has 300 health. At level 2, 400 health. And he applies fire when he attacks. At max level, he has 500 health. And he applies fire when he attacks. And he can aggro enemies, meaning that the enemies will attack him and not you if he's closer to the enemies than you are. Okay, so objectively, this is a good spell. I don't use it because, as you can see, the Fiend has to make up his mind about attacking. How many seconds was that between attacks? I know it's unfair if he was like constantly barraging enemies, just like non-stop harassing enemies. I know that would be like cheating, on top of the fact that the enemies will shoot him and not you. Meaning, by the way, he will disappear after a set amount of time. Even if he, I know it says here that he has 200 HP and 500 HP at max level, but he'll disappear even if the enemies don't kill him. And he could be at max health. He'll disappear after like, I don't know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't even remember. This spell is good only if you want to get enemies off your back and have enemies attack him. He's a distraction. If you need a distraction, then you're gonna love You're gonna love using Rotten Fiend. I don't love using Rotten Fiend. I understand how useful it is, and I recognize that it's useful. I'm not gonna shit on him, but not one of my favorite spells. Okay, Book of Serpents. Anyone who hurts its owner is cursed by decay. Minor enemies have a 12% chance of instantly dying. Major enemies have a 6% chance of instantly dying. The curse stuns minor enemies. I don't use it because this assumes you're gonna get hit. I play with the assumption that I'm not gonna get hit. I do get hit multiple times per run, but I use Eye of the Mad Woman. Hembane, the best. The best. I recently made another video showing why Hembane, comparing it to Monk's Hood, showing why it's the best. Because I die using Monk's Hood in the vault. Healing significantly increases the effectiveness of healing elixirs. This thing, the damage reduction after this thing used to make you fully invincible for 8 seconds before the Galleon Ghost update. Now you just take 70% less damage. Last 8 seconds. Healing duration minus 50. What does that mean? That you heal 50% faster? What the fuck does that mean? This is the best fetish in the game. It's the best because you can, right? You can heal. I'm trying to heal right now. You can see at number 4 jumping up and down in the bottom left of the screen. So, right, you take a potion, you start healing, you immediately take 70% less damage. Best one in the game. Ring of Fire. Okay, so 38, 40. Did I dash? How did I apply fire? Did I dash? When did I dash? $47? So All-Seeing Eye deals more damage. Anyway, that's what Crown of Fire does. It applies damage. Now what Crown of Fire does, at level 2, when you dash for once, when you dash for 1 second now, if you hit an enemy, if you dash, you have 1 second to shoot an enemy. If you shoot an enemy during that 1 second duration of time, it'll return 1 bullet into your magazine. Then at level 3, you have 1.2 seconds or maybe 1.5 seconds. I don't remember. This thing, if an enemy's already burnt, like this, if an enemy's already on fire like this, you only get 1 bullet back. You don't get any more. Before the Ghost Galleon update, even if an enemy was burning, if you were firing within the 1 second window, this would return bullets into your mag. So you would never have to reload. It would keep returning bullets into your mag. It doesn't do that anymore after the patch. It's probably now the worst ring or the penultimate worst ring in the game. It's a bottom tier ring now. Unless you love fire damage, that doesn't make sense because you can use Painted Tooth. I'll show you in a second. Painted Tooth. Angfire. Hunger. Stigmata. Okay. Hangfire. Okay, this is what Hangfire does. This is another thing. And this is why Hangfire is so good, because you can shoot him like that. And I told you earlier about the fall off damage through distance, right? There you go. Dealt 33 damage. And it'll always deal 33 damage, no matter how far away you are. So if you stick an enemy 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 3 is 9. You're gonna deal like hundreds of damage from as far away as you can possibly be. Look at that, 60 damage, insane. Insane. As it chains together, the more explosions there are, the more damage it deals. Bullets lodge and explode on reload. The more enemies with lodged bullets, the bigger the damage of each bullet explosion. Bullet explosions burn enemies. Bullets lodged in the environment has significantly increased explosion range. Crazy, crazy stuff. This is, to me, in my opinion, and I know others will share this opinion as well. Other people will hinder their opinion because they'll use weapon subcategories like, oh, the best rifle, the best hand cannon. Overall, in all categories, Hangfire is right now the best weapon in the game. It's just the best weapon in the game. So, this weapon, what it does... you see the color of the bullets, right? They're red, right? You see how there's blue bullets now? Those blue bullets, and see how the tip of the weapon is glowing? Because I scored 2 crits, I have 2 blue bullets. It's gonna deal extra damage. You know it's gonna deal extra damage because the tip of your gun is glowing red. These 77. And this next bullet's not gonna deal 77. It's gonna deal 43, which is the base crit damage of Hunger. But with Hunger, you wanna be dealing crits all the time. And now we're gonna score a bunch of crits. Let's do something. Let's just reload all of it. Or 6 crits. Just were 6 crits, right? Okay. When you score 6 crits, see how it's frozen now? Oh god. Okay, he's supposed to get frozen. But dang. This thing hits hard. This thing hits hard. Oh right, because the first bullet always deals extra damage. '70s, what the fuck? $38. Okay, so Hunger. Reloading grants 1 charge bullet. I explained this. For each critical. The more criticals before reload, the more powerful each charge bullet after. The first body shot after reload counts as a crit. Reloading grants freeze if every crit was a crit. It's not if every crit is a crit. Only if 6 crits. You only need to score 6 crits. Because there's an arcana that's called Extended Magazine. You have 8 bullets. But out of those 8 bullets, right, you have 6 bullets. But with Extended Mag, you'll have 8 bullets. Out of those 8, you just have to crit with 6. Doesn't matter which of the 6 bullets crit or in which order they crit. So long as you score 6 crits, 6 criticals, you will get the freeze effect. Hunger used to deal thousands of damage due to the Mysterium 2 Arcana before the Ghost Galleon update. That got nerfed. The most it can do now is 400 damage, which is more than any weapon. It's more than Echo or Psycho Pump. It's not the best weapon in the game anymore. It's still a high tier weapon. The problem is that it's a medium range weapon. So you will experience the damage fall off early enough with Hunger. Personally, I love Hunger, especially with increased fire rate arcana. Love the thing. Can't get enough of it. Falling Star, we already discussed it. Stigma Diabolicum. Or Stigma Diabolicum, however you want to say it. Assist that attaches to it. Let's look at this hideous shit. Jesus Christ, it's just like another light system. Stupider. Right, so now, you know how you need to shoot the head for crits? This thing just like creates an additional crit spot. This is probably the most useless spell right now. So now, you can score crits on his leg, just like if it's his face. So stupid. I mean, it's not useless, but I never use this spell. Assist that attaches to enemies, becoming their additional weak spot. Damage modifier 1.25, lasts 20 seconds. Let's look here. Okay, so at max level, the damage modifier is going to be 1.35. It's going to last 30 seconds. Applies decay on contact. Magnetism and increased size for easier targeting. I don't know if that means that your bullets home into the assist, or that you get sticky aim when you aim, but whatever. That was Stigmata Diabolicum. Stigma Diabolicum. We don't love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Burning Stake. The best spell in the game. Spawns a burning stake that ignites enemies, damaging them, charges a stake. Fully charged, the stake releases a fiery explosion. Okay, I will now demonstrate that shit. Okay, so as soon as I cast this, he starts burning. But when I kill him, right? There's gonna be an explosion soon enough. That was the explosion. That explosion is basically like if the shockwave spell had like an insane amount of range. So when you max it out at level 3, it lasts 40 seconds. The range is 35 meters. The fire explosion does 50% more damage. And not only at max level, not only does damaging enemies charge the stake, but killing enemies further charges the stake. So these stakes, if you get good enough at killing, you can get 2 of them going at once, and they'll proc each other. They will proc each other, right? Like the explosion. Once the explosion happens, one explosion will kill enemies and damage enemies, and it'll charge the other stake. Let's see. Okay, and eventually you can have, if you get good enough at killing, you can have, in a real scenario, not like me training, but like in a live, you actually killing bosses and stuff, you can have 4 of these things going on at once. And it is insane. This is the best spell in the game right now. I don't use it because it's so overpowered. What I tell newer players is that, hey, if you're a newer player and you're struggling with Witchfire on higher Gnosis, on Gnosis 2, Gnosis 3, Gnosis 4, use this thing and you'll even the playing field if you're struggling in Witchfire. For me, it's the best spell in the game. I use Cornucopia because that's what I enjoy and what I have fun doing. Okay, so Relic, Blood of the Banshee, blood spilled, blah, 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 blah. Overkill causes the victim to explode, igniting nearby enemies. That is like the it's like if all-seeing eye was a relic, right? If you could always carry all-seeing eye with you and use it with all weapons, except that it's fire damage and not decay damage. Okay, overkill. The explosion range 6 meters. Overkill value 60. What that means is if an enemy has 10 points of health left, you have to deal 70 damage. You have to overkill him by 60 HP. So if he has 10 health, you need to deal 70 damage. 70 minus 10 is 60. Then that means the requirement of the overkill, and then that'll activate the explosion. Here, see, you see next Mysterium, 55 HP. It makes it easier to activate the explosion. Then at max level, it is explosion range 10 meters, overkill value 50 HP. Right, so you only have to overkill an enemy with exaggerated damage of 50 HP in order to activate the explosion. You have 30%. The explosion deals 30 more damage, not percent, just like 30 more hit points of damage. The explosion knocks back minor enemies. This is a good one. I don't use it a lot, but I'm sure people who like Painted Tooth prefer Painted Tooth to Blood of the Banshee. There was some discussion for a while if this thing was better than Eye of the Mad Woman. I say it isn't because Eye of the Mad Woman affects every enemy. When Eye of the Mad Woman doesn't activate, that is an unintended glitch. Eye of the Mad Woman is supposed to activate on each enemy kill. And what Eye of the Mad Woman basically does is that it makes all enemies 30% weaker. That's what Eye of the Mad Woman does. And because it applies to every single enemy, I always use it. It's the best relic for me, Eye of the Mad Woman. If you take an offensive approach to things, and if you have like a DPS build, you like dealing damage, Eye of the Mad Woman is the best relic. Monk's Hood. Okay. Absorbing a manifestation. Manifestation is when you clear an enemy encampment, you get the red crystal thing. That is a manifestation. Manifestation adds magical shield and neutralizes any damage once and disappears. Says here 5 shield layers. In order to get 5 shield layers, you need to absorb. You only get 2 layers per manifestation. So you need to absorb 3 manifestations in order to get the 5 shield layers. Extra shield chance. Okay, so sometimes if you absorb a manifestation, instead of getting 2 shield layers, you'll get 3, and there's a 60% chance for that to happen. Chance for shield to hold, 10%. So if you take damage, the shield will go from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, 1 to 0. There's a 10% chance that you'll keep your shield, and it won't disappear. Hemsbane is better than this, because if your luck stat, you have luck on like 30, 40, you're gonna get potions your entire run. You're gonna get potions all the time, and you're gonna be able to use your potions whenever you want during the boss fight. Monk's Hood, by the time you reach the boss or the vault, you won't have any Monk's Hood left, and you can't replenish your Monk's Hood because after you clear all 7 enemy encampments, that's it. You only get 7 manifestations. You can't force any more manifestations. There's no items that give you manifestations. That's it. All you get is 7 manifestations. And I said that you get 2 layers per manifestation. 7 times 2. They don't stack. You can only have 5 layers. So it's not like you can have 14. On paper, Monkshood would seem like it's great, but in practice, Monkshood is like a mid-level fetish. Ring of Obedience. Dashing while looking at the last wounded enemy pushes them in the direction of the dash. The push damage is 10, activation distance 20 meters. Jesus. Can you not die? So that was a push? What is this? How'd you spawn there? Okay. So at level 3... That's at level 0. At level 3, what that ring does... Level 3, push damage is 30. Activation distance 30 meters. Chance to drop extra item push kills 20%. 3 consecutive pushes stun non-elite enemies. It says here that looking at the last wounded enemy, you have to look at your enemy and dash towards them. That's pretty annoying. I don't like this ring. This ring is maybe even worse than Crown of Fire, except for the fact that right at max level, at level 3, chance to drop extra items on push kills. That's actually the best thing this ring does. And the damage you deal from dashing. But that's about it. It's a very... not a special ring at all. It's a very... a low tier ring. Cricket. Psycho Pump. Fireballs. Cursed Bell. Painted Tooth. Balewort. Ring of Wings. This is what Ring of Wing does. And when it's at max level, you take no fall damage. But we can get back to that later. Cricket. Let me look for Cricket over here in my database. Cricket. Okay, so Cricket is a little machine gun. The fall off on this thing is crazy. See this pillar? How much is this? Like 10 feet? 12 feet? From 12 feet away, deals 1 damage. Okay, and this is the case for the shotguns as well. For Psycho Pump, Echo, and Cricket, you're dealing 1 damage at this range. Wow. One damage. 4 damage, 9. How much damage? 21. What about here? Anyway, it's a short range weapon. More potent, regenerating Witchfire essence from killed enemies. I think this helps you charge your spells. I don't know. And your stamina. You do generate more Witchfire using this weapon. Like, see how I have 0 Witchfire? If I was in a map killing actual enemies, I'd be generating more than the average amount of Witchfire that enemies usually give. Mysterium 2 dashing right after the kill reloads the firearm. Let us demonstrate that. See that? 20. And there's a sound effect. This is the most fun weapon in the game, because you don't ever have to reload this thing if you don't want to. Well, if you're killing weak enemies, yeah. But for stronger enemies, Cricket, it doesn't And then the third, level 3, when you max it out, dashing right after the kill, temporarily boosts damage, consecutive kills and damage. Consecutive kills and dashes increase damage boost. So you get increased damage from doing this and dashing, and also from just plain old killing enemies when it's at max level. This is personally my favorite short range weapon because it's easy to understand and use. How do you get damaged? What the hell? Your Psycho Pump, the best shotgun in the game in my opinion. So Psycho Pump. Psycho Pump, right? Level 0 right now. It's a full auto shotgun. I'm not tapping the fire button, I'm holding it down. I'm holding it down, it's a full auto shotgun. This thing annihilates. I just killed him like 3 or 4 times. So it's level 0 right now, but at level 1... At level 1, kills with a charge melee regenerate up to half the magazine. When it says regenerate, it means that it gives you free ammo from thin air. It's not like Cricket that auto reloads on dash. Right, Cricket. Let me auto reload Cricket. See, it says 133. I have 133 bullets, right? I have 118. It reloads from the mag. This thing, when you melee, when you level this weapon up and you melee, you don't get the ammo from reserves. The ammo appears from thin air. It's free infinite ammo. And that's a Mysterium 1. That's a level 1. Consecutive shots consecutive shots. This is level 2. Consecutive shots at the same target deal increased damage. And level 3, kills recharge the melee attack. So this thing is made for you to be like bam, 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 punch, bam, 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 punch, and never having to reload. And you don't even have to pick up ammo for this thing. This is the only weapon in the game that can boast the potential for infinite ammo. No other weapon in this game can boast that kind of potential. Here we are, fireball. Then it deals more damage. When you level it up, you get another charge. Right now I have 1 charge. It says fireball and it has a number 1. When you level up, there's more damage and you get 2 fireballs. Then at level 3, if you aim down sights and fire fireball, the fireball will home in on whichever enemy you're aiming at. I like fireball, very simple. It's like a mid-level spell. It's almost a high-tier spell just from how easy it is to use. It is the spell with the longest range. I'll explain. It has the longest range. Most spells from here, you're too far away. But see, he took damage. This thing homes in, and it has near infinite range. You can hit enemies from the other side of the map with fireball. I don't use fireball much, but I recognize that it's very easy to use and it does the work for you. Cursed Bell. So Cursed Bell, he's stunned, right? Okay, he's semi-stunned. Now I'm gonna stun him for real. Now he's super stunned. Takes 400 damage. Now stun him again. 40 damage. And then it disappears. So Curse Spell. Stuns a Curse Spell, stunning all enemies, shockwave 35 meters, 25 seconds. Reshot reduction. I'm not gonna go into details. Curse Spells are very fun. It's a high tier heavy spell. Painted Tooth. Critical shots on full health enemies ignite them. Let's see if that's true. Okay, yeah, he gets ignited. Then let me research Painted Tooth. Painted Tooth. So I'm at level 1 with Painted Tooth, not at max level. At max level, bonus ignition damage 30. Bonus ignition damage to major enemies 70 damage. And has a 10% chance to stun. If you combine this thing with Hypnosis or Hailstorm, you're gonna be dealing like 400 damage each headshot or something ridiculous like that. That is why people use Painted Tooth. It's a good relic. Balewort. Okay. So at max level, okay, when below half health, killing enemies can turn their Witchfire into healing essence that regenerates a bit of health when picked up. At max level, the drop chance per enemy is 40%. Essence time to live 6 seconds. That's how long you have to pick up the essence. Pickup range 3 meters. Spell recharge per essence 20%. So at max level, each time you pick up essence, your spells recharge 20%. So if you're recharging your spell because it's empty, each time you pick up essence, you get 20%, 20%, 20% until you fully recharge your spell. I don't use this. I don't know anyone who uses this. Hemsbane, this isn't a bad fetish. It's just that Hemsbane is where it's at. Ring of Wings. Airborne stamina jump, meaning your double jump costs 30% less stamina. Not the first jump, the second jump. Dashing after double jump costs less stamina. Improved mid-air directional control and no fall damage. Let us demonstrate that right now. Whoop, whoop. See, you're dashing in the air. That's what Ring of Wing does. See, when I'm jumping, I'm kind of agile when I jump. You're not that mobile using any other ring. Only Ring of Wings gives you that mobility. When you pair it with Fast Strafe Arcana, oh, it's so good. Echo. Hailstorm. Finally, we're finishing this, sort of. Cornucopia. Raid of the Seductress. Mandrake. Shadow Mist Ring. Let's go. So, Echo. Let's go to Echo. Echo. There's a shotgun. At level 1, pellets have delayed explosion that applies burn. Lethal shots push enemies back with great force. Level 2, lethal pellet explosions has more range and applies burn to nearby enemies. Slide at max level. Level 3, sliding reloads to shells and doubles damage temporarily. So at max level, when you dash, At max level, when you slide, it reloads from reserves to shells. So this is one of those weapons that you don't have to reload if you don't want to. And sliding also doubles the damage for like 2 seconds or something. This thing, it's hard as fuck. The problem with this weapon, look at my stamina bar. Look at my stamina. See how it's slowly consuming just from aiming down sights? The developer said that this is a bug that's still there from some old code from long ago. Personally, I like Cricket and Psycho Pump better than this weapon. Hailstorm. It's a sniper rifle. It's the sniper rifle with the least amount of ammo. Level 1. Every third consecutive crit recharges the magazine with 2 extra bullets. Level 2. Consecutive crits decrease zoom and flinch and increase handling and bullet bending. I don't know what bullet bending is. Body shot or missing resets the level 2 buff. Then at level 3, every third consecutive crit makes the target explode with freezing shockwave, so it freezes enemies. Every third headshot, it freezes enemies. Look at this thing, guys. 20 bullets total. 5 in the mag, 15 in reserve. That's how quick you're chewing through ammo with this thing. There you go. Down to your last 10 bullets. What was that like? 20 seconds? This sniper is supposed to be the best sniper in the game. It has the least amount of fall-off range. Like, I can hurt this guy from all the way over here, and it does 200, and that was a crit? Crazy. It always deals like 200 damage and upwards. But this weapon doesn't get used as much as it should because of its low ammo count. Shockwave. A shockwave that stuns enemies. That's how shockwave works, right? You see now he's staggered. He takes 400 damage from the melee. Normally, it takes 100 damage. But when you're staggered, enemies take 4x damage, apparently. 4x damage. You're staggered. Right? Because 100 times 4 is 400, so that's like 4x damage. Ridiculous. So, shockwave. Wow, it works from all the way over here. What about from here? Whoa, it works from all the way over there. What about from here? No. Is that another range on this thing? Okay. Let me, Huh. Okay, so anyway, the effect of shockwave is stuns minor enemies and exhausted major ones. This thing will stun major enemies even if they're not exhausted. Or at least it'll partially stun them, which is good enough, trust me, good enough. 14 meter range, it's max level right now. 40 damage, instant recharge per enemy affected, 10%. So I guess if I shock 5 enemies, I have a 50% chance that this spell will instantly recharge. I don't know. I don't get it. This thing recharges super quick for me because I have Witchery at 100, so I just kill like 3 enemies and I charged it. It is not the best light spell. Not even close to being the best light spell, but it's my favorite because you don't have to aim it. You have to aim it, look. See? See that? He's dead. Yeah, you don't have to aim it. And when you're fighting the revenants, in the shield bearer, the first familiar, the first boss, you can just, there's so many reverends around you that you will literally do this. You can just keep spamming the spell because there's so many enemies getting affected that this third effect here will ensure that you always have your shockwave up and ready to go. Okay, so Cornucopia. What Cornucopia does, see how, so I get to 1 bullet and it starts using from reserve. Cornucopia makes it so you don't have to reload. That's what Cornucopia does. You don't have to reload. You can just 34, 33, 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. You don't have to reload. That's what Cornucopia does. But let's read the effects. It works at the last bullet. That's why I have 1 bullet. That 1 bullet is the last bullet. Manual reload can still be executed. Does not work with demonic weapons. Okay. So it doesn't work with Falling Star or Vulture. Last 20 seconds. Improve handling, stability, and reload. Oh, I didn't know that it increased reload speed. I've forgotten that. Duration extended per kill 1 second. How long can we make this last with because there's woodsmen, right? When there's woodsmen around, you can make this thing last a whole minute. Look at that, it's still going. 20 seconds ended a long time. You see my gloves are red? Oh, they're no longer red. But that's how you know that it's working, your gloves are red. Anyway, that's my favorite heavy spell and my favorite light spell. Braid of the Seductress. Radiant Sonora freezes minor enemies. Radiant Sonora that freezes minor enemies who wound the owner with melee attacks. Basically, freeze melee enemies when they attack you. Melee damage reduction, minus 30. Killing the frozen attackers restores 50% of the damage they dealt to you. The aura works against major enemies. I don't use this, but I've heard great things about it. I'm putting this in the high tier of the relics. Mandrake prevents fatal damage. Basically, when you die, this is like a phoenix down that revives you. It only works once per run. It restores all your health. You're immune to damage for 7 seconds. Your light spell will instant recharge for 7 seconds, so your light spells are gonna be like bam, bam, bam for 7 seconds. Bam, you're just light spelling away. 7 seconds. Weapon damage will immune 100. Wow, so it doubles your damage for 7 seconds. This is in the top 3 of the fetishes. Top 3. Top 3. I'll tell you later the rankings. Shadow Mist Ring. Dashing turns the ring bearer into a shadow mist that can pass through enemies. 11 meters, 35 damage, 50% chance to freeze. That's how this works, look. There's a glitch, and I'll show the devs. Sometimes you don't properly phase through enemies. Like that. I didn't properly... See? I didn't properly phase through. I want to do it until you're supposed to like go through them. But after the Ghost Galleon update, it got a little bit finicky. This is probably like the second best ring. Well, between Ring of Excreta and this, they're like tied. They're both the best ring because this thing is like some Naruto ninja shit. See, there you go. There, I didn't face right there. Let me activate this so I can know in the video when I scrub through it. When I see this, I'll know that there I have to report something to the devs. You won't properly phase sometimes, but yeah, that ring, Shadow Mist ring and Ring of Excreta are tied for first place. Shadow Mist because it's the most useful ring, and Excreta because it gives you the most dash distance. So they're the best rings for different reasons, which is great. Okay, that's all the weapons. So I'm gonna equip Hunger again and Hangfire because those weapons are my happy place. Frost Cone, Ice Sphere. Okay, let me not equip Eye of the Mad Woman just in case it auto triggers. Hemsbane, Ring of Wings. I hate forgetting this. So what are we doing? Frost Cone? Okay, so Frost Cone. Easier to aim than Ice Stiletto, but Ice Stiletto auto recharges when you miss. So Frost Cone, the cone of frost. So frosty, dude. Let me step over here and recharge it. Freezes enemies, 30 damage. After 3 enemies are frozen, it instantly refills. Oh shit, so this reloads your weapon from reserve. I did not know that. That is something extremely useful to know, but how often are you gonna freeze 3 enemies? How often is that gonna happen? And then at level 3, affecting 3 enemies instantly recharges the spell, and it deals 40 damage. So freezing 3 enemies at once insta-recharges the spell, and it deals 40 damage. If you're a new player, this is easier to use than Ice Stiletto. But eventually, you should move up to Ice Stiletto and start using that instead of this. Unless you really, really need to freeze 3 enemies at once for whatever reason. Ice Sphere spawns a sphere that protects you from damage and freezes enemies. Okay, let me spawn another one. See, he gets frozen. He gets frozen. Enemies that touch the sphere get frozen. Has 300 HP. And then at level 2, 400 HP, the sphere has 400 HP. Double weapon range when inside the sphere. So your weapon range is doubled when inside the sphere. And then at level 3, at max level, the sphere has 500 HP. And double reload speed when inside the sphere. So this thing is really good. It's in the top tier of spells. A lot of people who use Midas love this thing because it just lets you chill out. And if you pair it with Thunder, if you pair it with the Thunder Light spell, you're just cooking with gas when you're using this thing. Let's go see a man about a horse. Ice Stiletto. And, okay, Ice Stiletto. That's the last spell that that's the last thing we were talking about today in this tier list. So Ice Stiletto. Mine is level 1, so when I miss, it does not auto recharge. Stays empty. I recharge it here using this training area. So Ice Stiletto. Freezes enemies. 20 damage. But at level 2, Ice Stiletto. At level 2, it deals 30 damage. And a critical hit with the stiletto doubles the damage and freeze time, and at level 3, 40 damage, and instant spell recharge if you miss. If you hit something that's not an enemy, you instantly get Ice Stiletto back. This thing with Burning Stake, because when you headshot enemies, it's supposed to... Not for me, because I haven't leveled it up yet, but at level 2, critical hits, double damage, and freeze time. So this thing would deal 60 damage, and it'll recharge the Burning Stake. One of the best light spells. It's time to rank the tier list. How long have I been in this? 1 hour and 30 minutes. Who's gonna put up with me talking all this? Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's go back to the Hermitorium. To the Armory. And the Study, which are the best spells. That's what this is called, right? Equip gear. The Gun Room. I'm sorry, the Gun Room. So, for weapons, my tier list. Hangfire, number 1. And I feel this is me being unbiased. Hangfire is the best weapon because it is medium range, but the explosion has no distance. It's infinite range. The explode. If you lodge a bullet into an enemy, he can go to Saturn. He can go to the moon. You can go to the moon with the Nazis and you could explode him all the way over there. What is number 2 weapon? Weapon number 2. Listen, man, this is where it gets subjective and I stop being objective and I become biased. Number 2 weapon, Hunger, because I love it. The next best weapon, Midas. Again, I'm being biased. That's just how I am biased. The next weapon, Hypnosis. Hypnosis is number 4. Number 5. We're going from best weapons to worst. All-Seeing Eye, number 5. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is whatever. Let's continue with my ranking. 6, Cricket. 7, Psycho Pump. 7, Echo. Number 8, Hailstorm. And the shittiest weapon, Ricochet. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. That's the ranking. S tier, A tier. For the spells. Okay, for the spells, Blight Cyst, Lightning Bolt, and Ice Stiletto are S tier. Fireball and Shockwave are A tier. This is B tier, and this is F tier. I guess. Whatever. S tier, Burning Stake. A tier, Iron Cross. Cursed Bell, also A tier. Also A tier. We're gonna put Ice Sphere and Cornucopia in A tier as well. And then Rod and Fiend is B tier. Yeah. For the relics, Isle of Mad Woman, S tier. Along with Painted Tooth, also S tier. Book of Serpents and Blood of the Banshee. You know what? The other three, A tier. Book of Serpents, Blood of the Banshee, Braid of the Seductress, A tier. We could put Book of Serpents in B tier because it got nerfed recently. It no longer kills the warrior priest when they're inside in the vault, when they have the red bubble protecting them. So let's go S, A tier, B tier. Actually, let's go S, A tier, B tier, C tier. There we go. S tier, Hembane. S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and shit tier. Shit tier, because how can it be that at max level is 40% threshold? So you gotta be below half health. Anything that requires you to be below half health wants you to die. The rings. Ring of Ixrita, Shadow Mistbring, S tier. Ring of Wings, A tier. And these two shits, C tier. That's it. That is, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Witchfire tier list. I'm ending this video. About time I ended this video.